guys, today I'm going to walk you through my setup in my crafts room so you can see my bead organization and the way that I film my videos. So let's get started. I've got a shoe rack organizer that I've repurposed because I don't need it anymore. I've got two small hot glue guns in here. I've got one large hot glue gun and then one high temperature hot glue gun. Then I've got in here a connector for some EL wire, so if I want to connect 2 or 3 different strands together. And then these, which are motion activated. I've got some green ones and some red ones. I've already put them on bracelets. They're pretty cool. They were actually for running shoes. I've got a crap ton of EL wire and EL tape that I have no idea what I'm going to do with. If you guys have any ideas, let me know. I got them from Radio Shack when they were going out of business. So I've got a bunch of artist markers for drawing. These are Prismacolors over here. And then these are a different brand, which I actually have a whole box of over there, which I got actually at a Goodwill. They were trying to sell them for like 49 cents a marker, but I talked them down to doing $5 for the whole box. So I've got a bunch of pom-poms over here. If you didn't know, I actually have an Etsy shop for jewelry making, not for candy making. So if you wanted to buy some jewelry or something that I've made, you can check that out. My Etsy store is Ginger Crafty with an E instead of a Y, like ginger candy, but craft instead. So these are some of the necklaces and like bracelets and stuff that I've made. Got some earrings down there. I've got these storage bins, which I got at Walmart. I think all 5 of them were like $1 or $2. It was pretty cheap. So I've got them set up for just easy access, grab and go wear kind of stuff. Things that need to be repaired, stuff that I'm going to take apart so I can do more projects with the beads in the future. I think this is more stuff that needed to be taken apart or restrung. I don't remember. And then this is just like general storage kind of stuff in here. I've got a bead tray, which is really cool. These, like let's say if you're working with a bunch of perler beads, you can dump them out in the tray. And then they've got knobs here, which you take out the knobs and you just pour them back into the container. So really helpful if you're working with perlers. It's easy to sort them that way too. Label maker. This is a base for that candy Christmas tree because I updated it. So this is actually the new base for it, and I've just got, you know, some 3Ds sitting on here just to keep them out of the way. I've got some more bead containers. I've actually gone away from the bead containers. I don't like them as much anymore. I feel like they're just kind of inefficient as far as space goes, and it's harder when I'm trying to film a video to work out of a tub like this. So I've just kind of gone away from it. I mean, I've got like 4 or 5 empty ones now. So I like to organize by either color or by type. So these are all glow in the dark, and these are all of the metallic beads I have. Then in this one, I think I've got all mini pony beads in here. And then this one I was just organizing by color. So I had a bunch of different, if you can see, like the orange is the best one. It's a bunch of different types of orange beads. I usually like to keep my beads consistent, especially if I'm working on a cuff or a 3D. So this is more of a box to pull like singles from or something, because they're like the different shades of the same color that I had that was just kind of weird, like the green. It's a bunch of different colors. And then I've got some bag mixes that I got, which were like Valentine's Day bag mixes. So you've got like clear, you've got the solid colors, things like that. Then I've got a dump tote. When I used to go to a lot of events, I'd bring this tote out with me, and it was just a tote that I dumped a bunch of beads in so people could make things. I had put charms in it, all kinds of stuff. So I'd bring the string And then I would just bring all the beads with me. I've slowly started kind of sorting through this and putting them back together, but it's going to be a long process for that. Okay, then we've got the storage bins underneath. So I got these at Walmart. They, I think, were less than $1 for a tote, which was kind of cool. And they actually clip together on the side, so they'll sit together. So this is where I put all like my toys and things. I used to get a bunch of toys from Goodwill. So the Goodwill that was by my house when I lived in Houston was had giant bags of toys. So that's where a lot of the stuff came from. I've got some extra perler beads in here that weren't sorted that I ran out of space of because I combined two things together. So I've got some perlers that I made that are just sitting in here too. A ton of vampire teeth. Got more over here, which they were like $1 after Halloween or less, so I got them. Navi, buttons, all kinds of stuff. Penguins. Okay. And then I've got these totes. And this is like my Hello Kitty tote of nothing but like Hello Kitty stuff to put on necklaces and bracelets and stuff. I've got the McDonald's toys, and then these are Walgreens find. So I think I have like 3 of these. And they're all the same thing. What else do I have? Okay, so this is my big bag of other kinds of things. So I've got a bunch of slinkies if I want to make slinky cuffs. So these, I think most of the stuff in here was like Walgreens. So I've got 2 different slinkies. I've got a bunch of these finger lights. I'm going to use them to make something out of. So like if I want the internal components to light up, this would be like a good way to do it. So I've got like 4 of those. I've got some light up spiky balls. I've got this orb necklace, which will light up and change colors. So what I did was I actually made a Navi from Zelda, and I actually put this in the middle so it lit up, and I made it with translucent beads, which is pretty cool. So I need to come up with something else to make those out of. But I got a bunch of these cameras, and these were Party City finds. I have a keychain, and they're actually monkeys in a barrel, so that will go probably on a necklace or a bracelet or something. Light up pacifiers, a crap ton of glow sticks, more of those bat rings. Right now, I'm kind of in the middle of painting, so that's why my walls look all tore up and crazy. So after I finish painting in here, then I'm actually going to put all the stuff on my wall. That's a Hello Kitty I made for Hello Kitty Hardstyle. I think it was like 2011 or something like that. It was actually a party my husband threw, which I wasn't married to or dating at the time, which is weird. But I did some decorations for it, and he actually kept the Hello Kitty. So I've appropriated that again from him. So that's going in the craft room, which is kind of cool. It actually glows in the dark, which is awesome. So kept that up there. I've got a whole Lego table in here. So I've been collecting a lot of the elves sets for Lego. I mean, if you look under here, this whole thing is nothing but Legos. So I've been building those. Those have been really fun. I've been going also to some Lego expos and things. So I've actually got Legos that light up, which is pretty cool. So maybe I'll figure out something to do with those. But yeah, there's 2 different settings on it. Which is cool. I've got some Mega Blocks, like Assassin's Creed Mega Blocks over there. And then I got a whole tote of Legos, nothing but Legos. And I got this, I think somebody had it on Let Go for like 30 or 40 bucks. And we bought a whole tote because it was some Avengers sets, I think Ninjago and Kaima sets, and all the minifigures, everything's in there, even the instruction manual. So we're like, yep, we're just going to buy the whole tote because that is a lot of money. So this is my little section of white bins, which I've actually labeled everything. I'm usually not that organized, so super surprised that I actually sat down and did that one day. Okay. So let's start with what's on top first. So I've got a Singer sewing machine lamp, which is really cool. I found that at Goodwill. I actually really like that thing. I've got some cute bunnies. That's like a 1930s or 40s hat that I found at Goodwill. It needs to be a little bit repaired up here, but it's actually really cool. It's got feathers. It's really pretty. I've got a tiger I'm working on a backpack for. I found a Lisa Frank banner, so that's going to go up on the wall when it's finished. I also found these like purple and green shelves, which I want to hang up on the wall and display some stuff. These were those markers I was talking about. So this is like all the markers I got for like $5. And these are expensive markers. They're like $5 a marker if you buy them, you know, individually. So super happy about that. Got a pillow pet. Some more stuffed animals. I have a crap ton of stuffed animals. I need the second stuffed animal hammock that I have to go over here. So let's get into the totes. So I've got scrapbooking scissors, so different kinds and types of scrapbooking over here. We've got a hole puncher, some push pins. I keep old business cards because I use them for my embroidery floss. So instead of keeping them in the tubes, what I'll do is I'll cut them and I'll wrap them around the business cards, and it's a lot easier to keep them neat and tidy when you do this. I've also got a tote of felt. So this is embroidery floss and felt. I've got Rex lace. I've got a bunch of these styrofoam balls, some pipe cleaners. This is all my sewing stuff. So I've got like marking pencils, picking shears, measuring tapes, needles, all the stuff. This is unfinished projects. So anything that I have that's either too big to go in another piece of tote, something I've started on, not finished, all goes in here. And this is all the painting. So I've got gouache, spray paint, varnish, acrylic paint, watercolor, you name it, I probably got it in here. I've also got stuff for calligraphy, so I've got like ink and everything in there too. Oops, the bottom one in here is just storage, so I'm gonna skip that. We've got tools. So I've got this X-Acto knife set, which has got like 15 different kinds of, like 10 different kinds of blades, I guess, and 3 different handles, which has come in handy a lot. Another kind of cutter. This is what I used to call my emergency candy kit, and I used to bring it with me. It was a little spool that I could put some elastic on and a small set of scissors. So whenever I used to wear a lot of candy, I'd bring this with me in case I broke something and I needed to fix it. So that was always helpful. If you got some Christmas orbs to fill up with beads or something like that, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. A wire jig, so I can do some wire wrapping. This is more material, so we've got some hemp cord, some bamboo cord, popsicle sticks, wire for wire wrapping, beading wire, twine, got old keys, more fishing line, some beads, stuff for my Etsy, so mostly boxes and bubble mailers, but I do have some stuff in here, like I've got some perler bead stuff and an owl phone pocket, which is cute. A whole drawer filled with nothing but ribbon. So I've got so much ribbon and lace. That's what this drawer's for. And the bottom is all my crochet and yarn and things here. My tape drawer. So I've got masking tape, packing tape, paper tape, floral tape, duct tape, artist tape, any kind of tape that you could want. Toothpicks, these adhesive flowers, which I use for my wedding, music box, because my husband makes music boxes sometimes. So this is this cool plastic. So it you can heat it up or you can cool it down, and it will let you mold it like Play-Doh. And then when you cool it off, it'll freeze in its shape, so you can basically mold plastic stuff out of it. So I've got some color, and then I've got a bunch of just white, which is pretty cool. I haven't been able to play with it yet, but definitely a cool item. Tons and tons of drawing stuff. So a bunch of colored pencils, some more markers, and some charcoal pencils. Everything else in here is all Prismacolor, so tons of Prismacolor. I've got the thin ones, and I've got the regular thick ones. So, tons of drawing. And a whole drawer filled with nothing but crayons. So, if you ever want to color, I've got the coloring books that you need. A whole drawer filled with nothing but different kinds of glue. So I've got big hot glue gun sticks, small hot glue gun sticks, E6000 glue sticks, regular Elmer's glue, glitter glue, wood glue, tacky glue, acid-free paper and fabric glue, because I was repairing some old books. So, and then a bunch of rubber cement. And then I've got more storage. This is my whole fabric bin. I've got patterns, ribbons, and scraps in the top. I've got fabric that I've used for different projects, and then fabric that's pretty much new or has a lot left. So this bin's for my husband, so that's all his stuff in there. And then let's do over here. So let me move the unicorn. This is where I keep actually all the candy that was given to me, in a toy bin, which I got from Target. And in here, you can see all the cool stuff. So I just keep it all in here. Sometimes I put some of the big projects I've made in here. But for the most part, I just keep it in a toy bin. It's easier, keeps it out of the way. Okay. Then I have a giant scissors, which were grand opening scissors that I actually got at a pawn shop. Which was kind of cool. I figured they could like hang on the wall or something. These things are giant. I mean, they're huge. Then I have a whole box of more camera stuff, a second camera, and a bunch of other things. My art portfolio of drawings and graphic design stuff. I've got construction paper, a rock tumbler, some Connects in a box and in the red tote. A bunch of magazines. I also like to collect old craft books. So I've got a 1970s Better Homes and Gardens sewing book. I've got a 1950 Encyclopedia of Modern Sewing. And then I've got two older, I think both from like the 60s or the 70s, graphic design books, which I thought were really cool. So, and then I've got other crafting and beading books. If you want to learn how to make candy really quickly, I highly recommend the Beader's Bible. It's super, super great. It shows you the techniques of how to basically make anything out of candy. It's not a book for candy, but it's got a lot of good traditional beading techniques, which are things that are used, in candy making. So I'd highly recommend that book. Really cool ideas, really great things. Bunch of magazines, and the end is coloring books, and then my tentacle kitty and my old wooden spools of thread, which are cool. I like those. And I have a whole basket of stickers. Nothing but stickers, which is cool. Like from top to bottom, nothing but stickers. Some more stuffed animals. Okay, and then let's go over here. So this is my desk area. I can back up. Here we go. And I've also got a nice chair, fuzzy chair for sitting. The lights that I use are actually two daytime reading lamps. And I got those online. So what I do is I actually take a piece of the translucent tracing paper, and I taped it on to the lights, and what it does is it diffuses the light so it's less harsh, and it makes the videos look really nice. This whole thing is filled with foam beads, if you can see. So that's where I keep all my foam beads. I just figure it's easier that way. So I tend to hoard those. Whenever I find them, I buy them, as long as they're a reasonable price, because they're hard to find in the store. So I also like these little containers, and that's what I keep a lot of my beads if I want to grab and go real quick. I also have a bunch down here. I use magazine organizers to hold my perler bead pegboards and other things that I need to grab real quick. I got my sewing machine down there. So this is usually my setup in front of my desk. just like my hat, a light up, smiley face, some necklaces, things like that. That's that knobby I was talking about. And then I've got a ginger candy necklace I made, a peace sign. So actually this fur is attached to a cork board and taped to my desk. So that's the background when I make videos. I figured white has been the color that works the best, and I have a black desk, so I figure, we'll just do like fur or something, and it looks really good in the tutorial, so I'm happy with it. I've got a Care Bear picture that I saved from Goodwill. The little peg on it was coming out, so I glued it back together. This is a bunch of the flyers, stickers people gave me, business cards I have, wristbands, postcards that came in the mail, all kinds of stuff just like stuck together, just for display. I eventually want to actually move this onto the wall, but I put it on the cork board for right now, so it was out of the way. So that kind of sits on top of my big bead organizers. I got 2 of these from Kmart when they were going out of business for I think like $10 a piece or something like that. It was pretty cheap. So I organize, and the first one is mostly pony beads, and the second one is mostly like specialty beads and my letter beads. So one of these days when I get a chance, I'm going to go through and organize all of these and label all of them so I know what goes in where. And then I've got a whole tote of nothing but singles that I made, so ready to go to pass those out whenever. A bunch of stuff for my tutorials hanging out up there, and then I've got big bags of beads that I didn't have space for, and 2 more totes of different specialty beads and stuff like that. But all in all, that's really kind of my setup here. If you have any questions, let me know. Hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Okay, goodbye.